G'day Bitcoin. I reckon you've got about 3 years to be able to get as many sats in self-custody as possible. So in this video, we're going to talk about that and the ethos of buy, stack, and chill. What that means. First off, none of this video is financial advice. Big boy pants, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just some bloke smoking a cigar that loves sun, loves eating steak, and most importantly, loves stacking sats. So a little bit about me. I've been here for nearly 6 years. 2019, got into Bitcoin. I did come through the shit coins, through altcoins, and I wish I didn't, even though I made a bit of profit with them. It's just such a distraction, a psyop. And now I'm 100% Bitcoin only. I have it in my self-managed super fund personally. For the company, it's on the balance sheet as well. In this video, we'll also talk about the Bitcoin treasury companies, who they're for, who they're not for. TLDR, for 99.99% of people, treasury companies, probably better just to get that Bitcoin in self-custody. But this is the worst smoking cigar. Like, it's a beautiful tasting cigar, it's just not smoking real well. Anyway, how much Bitcoin is enough? I reckon if you're in your 20s, 30s, one Bitcoin. If, say you're in your late 50s, early 60s looking to retire, I reckon the answer is also one Bitcoin. For everyone in between, and also for the 20 to 30 age group, 0.1 is probably enough long term. Yes, Bitcoin's market cap needs to be at extraordinary prices for 0.1 to be meaningful, but at $10 million, and we'll get about price targets and stuff, we'll talk about that. Everyone thinks I'm pretty bearish, so we don't know what the price will be when, but we can guess the general direction. But at $10 million per Bitcoin, 0.1 is worth $1 million. In my opinion, I reckon somewhere around the year 2035, maybe 2040. To backtrack a little bit, I think Bitcoin's on track, just following normal market cycles, by 2030 to be at 1 million per coin. That puts 0.1 at $100,000. One Bitcoin today is about 108, somewhere between 108 and 120,000. I saw a little bit of bearish sentiment on X, so I'm guessing it's dropped a little bit, but it's still dropped above $100,000, which is pretty incredible, pretty amazing. I wouldn't mind a drop under 100,000, but anything, like, as it keeps dropping and getting down there, it just keeps coming back up and getting bought up. But say Bitcoin's at $1 million next 5 years, $100,000, is that enough to retire? Certainly not. However, from there, it's compounding still at about 55% per year. Let it sit for a little bit, another 4 years, and probably will be enough, depending on how bad the money printing gets. And say all these numbers are completely off. Maybe 0.1 when Bitcoin's at $10 million, it's about $1 million in Bitcoin. That should be enough to be able to live off. But if it's not, the answer, in my opinion, is always just more Bitcoin in self-custody, or sats in self-custody, and happy days. But there's a catch. If it's not in self-custody, it's not your Bitcoin. You know that saying, not your keys, not your coins, not your keys, not your cheese. It's more important than anything. And the reason why I think we have only got 3 years left to be able to buy, stack, and chill. It's packed so tight, it's like a bloody brick. It's unfortunate, really unfortunate. Lucky I got another one. That's better. It's starting to loosen up a little bit. But the reason why I think that we've got 3 years left, and maybe it's a little bit longer, maybe it's not. We're already seeing the UK is at December. From December, $800 is the most amount that you can get out of the ATMs. Here in Australia, they're talking about taxing unrealized capital gains through superannuation balances over $3 million. I think this complete just Trojan horse, get it in there, come for the family home. The way it's written, it potentially could. Second thing, digital IDs, they're on their way. That's coming through the under 16 bill. They've already been working on it, and we've already had digital IDs in this country since 2015. Central bank digital currencies, the banks have been doing a lot of trials with that. Now, put those three things together, unrealized capital gains, digital IDs, CBDCs, just these two, digital IDs and CBDCs, tie those two things together. You say something online they don't agree with, they stop you from being able to spend your money on things you like. Kind of like China with their social credit scores. That's some pretty scary stuff. But also, because the money is so broken and they bring in a digital currency, a central bank digital currency, they're not going to want you to exit their system and take control of your life force. They want you to stay in their funny money, their Ponzi scheme money, because they can limit it to like the 15-minute cities if you want to go down that track, or like within a 30 or 50 kilometer radius, for example, of where you live. That's where you can spend that money. You're not allowed to use it for airfares for specific people. Other people are only allowed to use trains, for example. They can do all that. They can give you negative interest rates to incentivize you to spend, or they can give me positive interest rates, ask me to save, and then in the background they're still making more of the stuff, inflating it away like they have done over the last 5 years. About 11%, I believe, they're adding to the M3 money supply year over year. They're going to make it hard. And in Australia, at least, we don't have a lot of regulatory clarity around Bitcoin. They do class it as property, and currently you can take it into self-custody, but that's about it. And the reason they class it as property is so they can tax the hell out of it instead of just calling it a currency. It's like a house. You hold it for longer than a year, you sell it, you pay 50% of your nominal tax bracket. Obviously not financial advice, talk to an accountant. Once you sell it, so say for easy numbers, you buy Bitcoin, 100,000 goes to 200,000, you've held it for a year, you've now made $100,000 in profit. Highest tax rate, it's not, but let's say it's 50% in Australia. You also get a 50% discount. So out of that $100,000, you're pretty much paying 25% tax, 50% your tax bracket minus the 50% discount. So you walk away with 75,000. Tax people, they get 75,000, is what it is. Obviously, there's some other ways that you can get Bitcoin. I've put mine into a Bitcoin self-managed super fund. I've also put some information up on my website, g'daybitcoin.com. You can go there, or g'daybitcoin.com/SMSF. But with Bitcoin in a super fund, it can't just be like a normal super fund. It needs to be a self-managed super fund, which allows you to make your own investment decisions. Again, like talk to a financial advisor or the people on g'daybitcoin.com/SMSF. I'll link it below so I don't need to keep saying it. But they understand Bitcoin, they get Bitcoin, good people to be able to talk to. You know, it's a free call, whatever. Like there's other people that you can go to as well. I just want to create a resource. I had so many people asking me. With a self-managed super fund, money gets deposited into your bank from your employer. Sometimes it can happen as quick as like every pay cycle for you. Otherwise every 3 months, so once a quarter, get that deposited into your self-managed super fund bank account. From there, you could buy stock, shares, bonds, gold, real estate if you've got enough capital there. Or for me, what I'm doing, it's Bitcoin. And the greatest thing about it is you are allowed to take that Bitcoin into self-custody. Obviously, because it is for your retirement, you can't spend it, you can't commingle funds, nor do you want to. And you need to be able to protect it properly. So like a self-managed super fund paired up with Tony or anyone from the team at the Bitcoin Way, and the self-managed super fund pays for that education out of it as a business expense or a tax expense. Absolutely amazing. Obviously, again, talk to your financial advisor, but you learn the skills as well for yourself, for your own setup. that's pretty cool. And then you can go and buy Amber app, Bitcoin only, or Storm Rake if you are rolling over like a big balance as well. But I put all that there. That's just an option for people, but you can completely take control of it, and then it's happy days. But this window of Bitcoin and self-custody, again, like I come back, I think we only have 3 years. They don't like it. The money's outside the system. They can't inflate it. They can't debase it. Obviously, they tax you when you sell it. But with their unrealized capital gains tax and stuff, it gives them more of a headache to be able to do it. Now, it's probably still coming, but we can slow them down a little bit, give a little bit of time. Obviously, there's plan Bs and stuff with Tony and the team at the Bitcoin Way you can talk to, but there are options. There are people moving over to New Zealand, rolling into the Kiwi Saver example, or removing their tax residency, moving out. That's way above my pay grade, so talk to Tony and the team in regards to like different jurisdictions and stuff, different taxes, Cyprus, Panama, for example. There's plenty of options out there. But that money, like at least the way that I think about it, if we're just to leave it in superannuation, and the best it's done is sort of like 11 to 18% over the last 10 years, it's not really outpacing inflation, or maybe just, where Bitcoin's compounded like 55% or 86% over the last 10 years. I think I would rather take that trade. But obviously I've read the books, which is good, because they are trying to push all this bug meat and cockroach milk. Like, that's literally what they're pushing, the scientists. Trust the science, bro. No, thank you. I don't think so. They say these are bad, maybe they are, but I'm not trusting the science on this either. We need to get it relit. What a grand and glorious day, hey? Really, I make these videos to just remind myself that all that's important is paying attention to Bitcoin, having more Bitcoin this week than I had last week, or last fortnight, or last month, or last year. Because fiat, it's dying. Not even dying, like it's dead. It's lost about, in Australia, the Australian dollar's lost 98% of its value since inception. Pretty similar with every other fiat currency all around the world. Bitcoin's only gone up over time, obviously day to day or year in, year out. You can have 3 green years, 1 bad red year, and that may change as well. But with what's coming, BlackRock, the United States, nation states, El Salvador, Strategy, all these Bitcoin treasury companies, they're all coming for what? Bitcoin. What are they doing? They're taking control of the Bitcoin, which is signal in and of itself. But instead of giving them our fiat dollars to take control of Bitcoin, we can just buy Bitcoin on a Bitcoin only exchange or through a brokerage, wherever it is, and then put it into self-custody and do what they're doing and take our own sovereign freedom back. That's why I show up and do these videos. It's just, again, to remind myself, and for the legends out there, like, we can have these red days where we went from 125,000 to wherever we are today. I'm guessing around the 108, 109,000 from like the bearish sentiment on X. What a disappointment. It's packed way too tight, which is unfortunate. It is what it is. The next one will get better, that's for sure. But once we take control of it, we're free, we're sovereign. I got a bumblebee on my leg. Come on, come back. Tuning out, chilling with nature. And then once we have like Bitcoin on that point, once we have Bitcoin in self-custody, you can just spend time in the sun. Now I've just spent over a year every day, 3 hours a day in the sun, usually from 8 till 11 each day, no shirt. It's the weekend. I thought I'd put one on for you, which you're welcome. I freaking hate wearing shirts, especially when the sun's out. But it is a little bit chillier here. We're down south, just looking for citadels, and then we've got a conference next week with the company, which I'm super excited for. It's amazing. And I actually want to pivot on how to stack more Bitcoin. Like, we can read the books, we can watch all the podcasts, we can shit post on X, and we can do all that stuff. I'm just watching this bee. It's so awesome. Come on. It doesn't want me to hold it. But over time, Bitcoin's getting more and more expensive. And unfortunately, that's just what happens with Bitcoin. It is number go up technology alongside freedom technology. So we can't stop the rapid appreciation of Bitcoin. Okay, so what do? Well, we need to rapidly increase the skills in our knowledge base. Now, for me, I don't believe that I'm the smartest or the most intelligent person. I do believe I'm very focused and very determined to be able to. Here's an example on this point. Since the age of about 14, I've been trying to get free, get out of the matrix, out of a 9-to-5, and just live life on my own terms. How do you do that? Obviously, you need to be able to have purchasing power behind you. You also need to be a valuable individual. So I tried heaps of businesses, many startup failed, side hustles while always working a job as well to have a consistent income. This bee is just so strange. It's just hanging out, loving life. I'd have big wins and everything like that, but in that fiat mentality, it'd all go just as quick, and the business failures would set me back. Money-wise, but skill-wise, I just kept stacking them. And, you know, graphic design to an extent, sales copy, really important. How to email, especially cold outreach email. Something for young people that I could not recommend enough is cold calling or door knocking or peer-to-peer sales, you know, at the shopping centre, whether it's fast wax, it's like this waterless wash and wax products, the people in the car park, they'll come up and they're like, hey, have you seen this amazing stuff? Check it out, it's absolutely incredible. And you're like, no, I've never seen it. It washes and waxes your car with absolutely no water. It's amazing. Let me show you. On their window, on the chrome, on the door, on the rim, and then you just polish a little bit, and then you can see like the big difference and stuff. To be able to do that, I used to sell that for a while. I was number one salesperson in Australasia with that. Absolutely incredible, but I was so shy and stuff. But anyway, I learned those skills. Sales, huge one, and then cold outreach, cold calling, cold emails, how to be able to DM people. Obviously with the podcast, there's the bee. Just chilling. How cool. My God, this is the great outdoors. God, great outdoors. I just love it. Love life. And what I love about Bitcoin is it gives you your time back to be able to enjoy God or whatever it is that you want to do. Coming back to the skill stacking, and this is all relevant to be able to get more Bitcoin. And sorry, I'm going off a bit of tangents. I'm upset about this. It's unfortunate. It sucks. Yeah, so cold outreach, emails definitely is one thing, but what really took me from 0 to 7 figures in a very, very short period of time, like months, is AI. It's absolutely incredible. The 2 subscriptions that I will never give up, YouTube Premium number 1, and for a couple of reasons. You don't get any of the ads, so if you're watching this and then YouTube serves you an ad, just get Premium. It's amazing. Obviously, you're going to see the baked-in ads to videos, but they're aligned with the content that you're watching instead of just YouTube randomly serving ads. It's the world's best, like, learning playground platform. It's incredible. You got a question for anything, put it in, somebody can walk you through that. And then AI, it's like YouTube on well, YouTube's like Google. It's the video search engine of Google, but it's like Google but on steroids. It's just so quick and you get the answer that you need. And like the vibe coding and stuff, that's really what was the major unlock. It can help refine sales copy and stuff. It's not amazing to be able to do it, but as a brainstorming partner, to be able to know where you need to be able to focus, it's an absolutely incredible mentor. And then as a work assistant, just absolutely insane. For anyone that's got a little bit of drive, a little bit of discipline, they're young and time, you definitely need the time. You know, I'm spending still 4 to 6 hours on AI a day. It's probably dropped off a little bit over the last 3 months, down to 2 to 4 on average, but over the last year, 4 to 6, with hitting 4 consistently, just working with this companion to be able to build, to be able to refine, like thousands of lines of code and stuff. It's just absolutely incredible. The images and stuff that it can make are really good drafts to then be able to send off to a graphic designer and stuff. Like pairing all these things together, and if you get stuck, what do? You just ask AI, it can give you an idea, and then you can go out to YouTube or to X or whatever to be able to refine or triangulate that data and then just keep upskilling. But the whole point of all of this, and it doesn't really matter what skills I stacked, it's what skills can you stack over the next 2, 3, 4 years. So as Bitcoin gets more and more expensive, you can go out, you can provide a service to an individual or an organization, either business to customer or business to business, to be able to charge them, to be able to, by providing value. It's the only way that we're ever going to get paid is by providing wider value to the wider world. And the greater the value that you're providing, the more income you're going to make, which is going to allow us to stack more Bitcoin. So it doesn't really matter the skills that I did. I do think cold outreach, sales, copy, marketing, AI, and then just-in-time learning with YouTube and with books, I think that's a pretty good place to be able to start. You know, spend 2 or 3 months on each, diving deep down, focusing on that. And you're probably not going to get anywhere. At least for me, my experience is like nothing failed business, nothing failed business. But each time it's like another brick in the wall, you know, just laying that foundation or getting it just a little bit better, making sure everything's level before building this skyscraper in Cyber Manhattan. Wanted to go from real estate into a Bitcoin metaphor. And then once you've done that, just stack Bitcoin and it's happy days. But I guess in the meantime, until that, you know, if you're just employed, a self-managed super fund's a good option. Again, on the website, plenty of options out there to be able to get Bitcoin into self-custody. And then just go out and between stacking skills and stacking Bitcoin, enjoy the great outdoors. This day, this life, we only get it once. I don't think there's a trip again. Or if we have been here before, maybe this is our last time. Whatever it is, you know, I guess carpe diem, make the most of it and enjoy it. But please, just do something nice for yourself today, for somebody else out there. Be blessed. Peace.